So let's get this party started.
All right.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, what?
First things first.
It should be.
You have this cultist
Oh yeah.
back at your
This
inn,
maniac cultist.
whose name I forget and didn't write down. His
I
new
don't think he
name
ever got a name.
is. He did. I gave him
Cultist.
an Egyptian name, but now I'm going to
That's
name.
right. That's right.
Well, see, in the original Japanese,
I wrote
his
it
name
down.
was Trevor.
No, I wrote it down.
You did.
Let me open up my notes.
His name is
Excellent.
Cultist 1.
He is not
Takes better
cultist
notes than
1.
the rest of us.
This is like cultist 48. You guys have been through a lot of these cultists.
His name was...
Yeah, but they all had names.
Say Shortsa.
Yeah, that sounds
Oh.
sufficiently terrible.
That sounds awful. Yeah, I remember this.
That sounds fantasynamegenerator.com. But yes, you have this cultist back at your inn, and the decision on what to do with him was left to this week. The last thing you all did, you guys took a month to get all your ducks in a row.
Well, we talked.
Go ahead.
We were talked to, and now I can't remember who said it. We were talking to somebody who basically said, "Yeah, if Duflatu was doing a spell where he was sacrificing his cultists, he probably needs all the cultists dead, so probably shouldn't kill him." I think was the general gist of it.
I remember that.
Right. Yeah, the fear was that he was able to complete this summoning ritual, but without all of the cultists required for the ritual, the fear is that he won't be able to control whatever it is he summoned.
The recipe clearly calls for 12 cultists, and he only got 11 scrambled before one got away.
Do you know how hard it was to recruit a cultist named Say Shorta? It's a really specific recipe.
So yeah, we're gonna have him not dead if we can help it.
So what are you doing with him?
I say we should just stash him in a demi-plane for a week.
That's not a bad idea. We had been having him. He was just being watched.
Yeah.
Right now,
But
he's
I mean,
under guard at the inn. Some of Khalil's guardsmen are keeping an eye on him.
I think we straight up. I mean, he's been pretty straight up with us under a zone of truth and everything, and we need him alive. I say we tell him we need you alive. We're gonna put you in this room with some fan fiction, and you're gonna have a grand old time when we go kill your old boss.
God.
The fanfiction's the selling point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
He
Give
says,
him some-
"Man, I really love fan fiction."
So what other preparations do you all make?
I want to describe some scrolls to
Okay.
give to Zook. Because we have a
I can do
ton
that.
of liquid assets right now, so...
How much does scrolls cost?
Depends
I'm
on the
looking that
spell.
up right now. It does depend on the spell, and it depends on the spell level you want the scroll to discharge at. It requires gold pieces equal to the spell level times the caster level times 25.
How much do we have on party loot? So I can get scribing.
Can we still have cube brew potions for us?
Yes, and all of that information should still be on the party loot as well.
Okay.
Does that mean that we can make these scrolls at something less than our caster level? Or do things just naturally cost more as we level?
Caster level won't be an issue for if you're scribing your own scrolls. This is for hiring somebody to scribe a scroll for you. The idea is,
Oh, okay.
if you hire a 20th level wizard, he charges you as his station as a 20th level wizard.
Right, that makes sense.
So if Eldove were to scribe like a 5th level fireball, it would be 5 times 25 plus... there are no components for fireball, but any components that cost money on top of that.
So this might sound crazy, but let's just... How many of us are there? There's 6 of us, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and make 6 scrolls of foresight before this thing goes down.
That
Now
sounds
with
like a
that,
plan.
I can cast it on everybody. Is that?
Well,
what
I can
you're
cast
thinking?
it on everyone if I have the scrolls.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, but then that way you don't have to expend the spell slots.
Yeah, actually 5. I mean,
Yeah.
my spell slot can't be used for anything else, so... Or I could put one on
Doesn't
the
it take?
Daniel, though.
Doesn't it take time based on the level of the spell as well?
It does, but you guys are working with a month of downtime, waiting for this axe to be... Well, actually, Taryn's not, because Taryn went down into the Underdark.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
rest
but
of
I
his
can, I
time.
can scribe it.
So yeah, make 5 of those. I would say 2 scrolls of blink for Zook, because Zook would be good at getting people out of the situations I tend to use the spell to get people out of.
What level is Blink?
4th.
Because I can get that from, what's his name?
Cube.
Because I know Dimension Door, I don't know Blink.
So,
Okay.
just FYI, what I already have on hand, I have a Scroll of Flying, Scroll of Illusory Script, whatever that's not going to be good for much anything. 2 Scrolls of Knock, Scroll of Protection from Cold, Scroll of Sending, Scroll of True Seeing. That's what I have so far.
That sounds pretty good. The other one. Do any of our spell books have listed in?
If it's less than 5th level, I can grab it.
Rick, I'm paying Cube to brew up 2 potions of greater healing.
Okay.
I was going to suggest getting a potion of scroll of feeble mind. Oh, that'll be based on caster level though. Never mind. Or saved DC will be on caster level. The other thing I was thinking is make 2 or 3 scrolls of powerful healing spells, both for Arik
That's what I was
and
going to say.
Yeah.
Scribe some mass cure wounds.
Yeah, I can't do shit about that. So I'll grab Blink. That won't take too long. That'll be 1 day of the month, and then I can scribe some Blink and some Foresight with the rest of the month.
I
That
don't think
seems
there's
like
anything
good
else I
use.
really need. I'll probably make 1 more scry just in case or 1 more fly just in case anything happens.
Okay, so how much gold in total is this? Who's doing this math?
I'm gonna do the math for the stuff that I'm making.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I figured we'd all do.
And Orphan, did you calculate the cost of those potions?
Yeah, and I paid it out, and that's going to take him 6 days to make both.
Okay, not a problem.
Spend
Does anyone need
75.
any gold from me? Because I have some on me. I have $2,000 in gems, basically.
We're fine.
Yeah, I'll spend 75 on that scroll of fly that I wanted to have on me. That's the only scroll Tarin will scribe.
Nick, how much was it to get 2 scrolls of greater healing? Or 2 potions, rather?
Each one is 60 gold in 3 days.
Okay,
I'll
I'm gonna
get one
get
of those too.
I'm gonna get a couple of those.
I'm gonna be doing that for as well. 2 greater healing potions.
Okay, so you guys have Cube busy all month
We do.
with greater healing potions. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it's gonna be.
I'm doing 5 scrolls of mass cure wounds.
Okay, so that's 120 gold.
Yep.
Do you want to do a scroll of break enchantment or lesser restoration or anything like that, Arik?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Probably
You can basically just roll in with
lesser
all your.
restoration, greater restoration, and
I don't know, break enchantment.
you guys are gonna be so mad, but also Beacon of Hope, because I read what that spell does, and I should have been casting that from the beginning.
Bacon of Hope. Bacon of Hope is great. We go on
Bacon
on
of Hope,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's my 4E games always we go on about Bacon of Hope.
Bacon of Hope is pretty good. What does it do?
Beacon of Hope.
None of us are mad at you because we all know you don't know what your spells do.
really don't. Really don't. There's way too many. I have way too many spells. Advantage on Wisdom saving throws and Death saving throws, and regains the maximum number of hit points possible from any healing.
But there's a
Jesus.
drawback.
Is that a concentration spell?
It's a
is.
concentration spell, yeah.
That's not a drawback for him.
So if you
What's
use
he
this-
ever concentrating on?
If you use a concentration scroll, it still follows the 1 concentration spell rule, right?
Yes.
Yes, it
Yeah,
does.
it should.
All right, you guys are gonna have to tell me everything you're making that you need
But
me to carry.
the nice thing is that it's the person who reads the spell who's using the concentration. So we're basically gaining a concentration slot, and that Zook can concentrate on something.
Yeah.
And what's the concentration loss mechanic? Since I haven't had to deal with that before.
When you
If you're
take
punched in the
damage,
face.
you have to make a concentration save, which is a Constitution saving throw. The DC is 10 or half of the damage you sustain, whichever is higher. So if a dragon blasts you for 96 damage, your concentration save is 48, is your DC.
Okay. FYI, Zook does not have the greatest constitution in the world. He's got a +2, but
Since we're rolling out of here with a bunch of scrolls and stuff, correct me if I'm ever wrong with any of this, Brick Road.
Okay.
But the way scrolls and stuff, the way actions in a turn work is that you have 1 action that's basically a free action that you can use to interact with an item. So you could take an item out from your pack, and then you could cast an item, but taking it out consumes the free item, and then casting it consumes your action.
You don't really
You
have
couldn't-
free action in this system. It's just kind of whatever sounds reasonable you can do on your turn is a free action. But yes, using the scroll and discharging the magic absolutely uses your action.
Right. The thing that I
Right.
read as as like what you get as like it was described as a use an item, and
Yes.
you get one of these a turn, and it's something like unsheathing a sword, opening a door, something like that.
Not in 5th edition. 5th edition, the use item is a particular type of action, and it describes like drinking a potion, using a scroll, using some function of an item that you have in your inventory.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the name is, but what I just described is from 5th edition. I just don't know what the name is.
Yeah, it used to be called a move equivalent action, either in Pathfinder or 3rd edition, I forget.
Yeah,
but
something like that.
Drawing a sword used to use up your move equivalent action, whereas now it's just it's just a take it for free. Just you can't draw your sword and sheath it and draw it again 50 times in a row and be it's a free action, so I can do that, right? No, now you burst into flames.
The nice thing is Zook's use an item is one of my fast hands things I can do. So I can use that. I can attack and use an item, or use 2 items in a turn.
So are we done doing the calculation on scrolls?
Yeah, I
and whatnot?
calculated mine.
Not yet.
I'll take it out from the party loot. Mine came out to 1875 gold.
Okay, so what extra scrolls and potions is Tarin holding right now? I'm gonna just go down.
Tarin has 2 potions of healing, the greater healing, and 2 scrolls of fly. Plus the stuff he's always. I think he has 1 more potion.
I'm gonna pass some of these out, so I'm not gonna put them on my sheet just yet.
And he has a potion of growth and a potion of hill giant strength that have been on him forever.
Okay. What kind of scrolls and potions is Orphan carrying? She made those 2 greater healing potions. What else is she commissioning?
No, she's not commissioning anything. What she has on her, apart from that, is she has 1 potion of fire breath left, and 1 potion of water breathing, a few rust grenades, some magic hole grenades, a freezing mist potion, which she has had forever.
It's got an elemental spirit in it.
Yeah, that freezing mist we determined because that came out during the during Zook's trial. Yeah, that turned out to be a
you never
trap
set
to me
the elemental free?
Dick!
I thought Zealous made us set them free in front of the ogres.
No, they were gonna, but I don't think they ever did.
They did, but cause only the bottle that Zook was carrying, because he was the only one they had disarmed. So if Orphan had one in her inventory, she had it in her pack the whole time. They never knew about it.
Yeah.
And Orphan's neutral, so.
Right.
She's like, yeah, whatever, ice me for that's cool. Zook, what kind of potions and scrolls did you commission during your preparations?
I commissioned 2 potions of greater healing.
Okay.
So now I've got 2 potions of climbing, 3 potions of greater healing, and 1 regular healing potion. And then all the buttload of scrolls and whatnot I was already carrying.
Okay, and Eldove.
First I learned Blink, which I deducted the money for, and then I crafted, what the fuck? Here, I crafted 4 of Blink, 4 of Teleport, because I always have to save a slot for Teleport, and it's never good, and 5 of Foresight.
That was a lot of scrolls. Okay.
Yeah, it was expensive as shit.
Khalil, what did you commission?
I have two potions of greater healing. I already have a potion of frustrating strength. And that's it.
And Arik, what all did you commission?
I have 5 scrolls of Mask Cure Wounds, 3 scrolls of Lesser Restoration, 3 scrolls of Greater Restoration, 2 scrolls of Beacon of Hope, and I need an additional 550 gold subtracted from party loot.
Okay.
To get all that.
What about preparations as far as reconnaissance, information gathering? What do you do to find out about what all's going on there?
So what is not us here, but what is Mr. Locke willing to give us at this point? Because now is the time for him to give us his packets of information, I feel like.
Now's the time to give what?
For him to give us the packets of information he has, like Melinda's true name, whatever he's got for us now.
I've got the.
He already did. No, that transaction is already completed.
Okay, cool.
I mean, he's still there. If you would like to consult him further, he is still available.
Do we want to ask him about this cult blender monster that got summoned? If he knows anything about it?
I don't think he'd know about that, but he would know things like the layout of the fortress, like if there are any doors that need to be bypassed, things like that.
What do we still owe him?
I don't think we owe him anything.
Just the corpses.
Oh, yeah.
Tarin specifically owes him the corpses of Gendrid and Melinda the Warlock. The rest of you owe him nothing.
Would he take, like, the corpse of, like, say, another warlock who had made an evil pact with a dark dragon.
Do you ask
Even
him?
if he was only like 2nd level?
Do you ask him?
No.
Okay. So,
Oh, go ahead.
as far as information gathering, are we bringing Mr. Locke back into this?
That's up to Tarin, since he already owes him his immortal soul.
I mean, I pretty much have what I think we need, unless you guys.
Can't think of anything.
It might be worth talking to the cultists about the layout and whatnot.
Yeah, let's
Do
talk to the
a
cultists
cultist
about that rather than Mr. Locke.
Okay.
All right.
Let's talk to our good buddy Say Shortsa.
So Shay Shortsa, for how do you approach him with it? Like, what do you tell him about your plans?
Well, I think we approach him by opening up the demi-plane, and then...
So that's happened.
And then going inside to talk.
That's
Yeah.
the plan. Your plan is to imprison him in this demiplane.
Well,
For his own
voluntarily.
I mean, imprison is such a harsh word.
Well, make
It's more
no
of
mistake. From his point of view, that's what you're doing.
Even after we
Yeah.
explain to him that his life is in danger and his life
He-
may be fueling a demon.
He's still not totally convinced you all won't execute him.
If we were going to kill him, we would have killed him by now.
And that's an excellent argument to make, and he definitely sees the wisdom in that. But the fact remains that he is a member of the Cult of Ith, and up until 4 or 5 weeks ago, he would have done everything in his power to kill every last one of you.
Guys,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this out here. I don't give a shit what this cultist thinks about being inside the demi-plane. Like,
I was
not
gonna say,
even a
does
No,
he
yeah,
small
he's going in the
shit.
demi plane.
Is he going to resist or just
Yeah,
be pissy
that's-
about it?
No, he's not going to resist, and he's not going to be pissy about it. But he's very downcast about it. Like he's taking it as though you're putting him in prison.
Even after he sees the fan fiction?
You're putting
It's protective custody.
you're putting him in a
Okay.
room with no doors, and he's not able to leave.
It's protective
That also
custody.
means that no one else is able to come in here and kill him. That's the important part.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check, Tarin.
Okay. This one.
Pick on my last feet. I already forgot.
Okay.
Mobile. That's right. I took mobile.
Oh, jeez, I have a spell to select. I know what it is. Why is this frozen? What the hell? Okay.
Also, that's a D12. There you go.
It froze when I tried to go to the dice bags for a second. That's a 12.
No, he's convinced that. I mean, you're trying to tell him that it's for your own protection, and he understands the idea that his blood was needed for this ritual, or his death was needed for this ritual, and that you all are afraid if he does die, it'll complete the ritual and then something terrible will happen. But on the other hand, you guys are putting him into a room with no doors filled with Khalil fanfiction. So
I mean, we'll give him a cask of ale or something if it'll help him feel better.
I don't want to do that because I don't want to come back and find a demi-plane with fucking vomit all over the place.
it's like Eldove's like, wipe your feet before you come in my nice clean
This is
demi-plane.
like basically, yeah. This is like keeping.
That's
It's
fair,
not like
it's a
keeping a cat
demi-plane.
where the cat will just only eat what it needs to. This is like keeping a dog.
So what kind of provisions do you leave him then?
A week's worth of food and dried food and water.
Okay, so he is your
Creating
dog.
a feast.
So what do you ask him then? You have him in this demi-plane. You go in to ask about the layout of the fortress. First thing, who all is going?
Tarin's obviously in there.
I mean,
Well,
Zook will
be
follow
there.
if there's room.
Is anyone in
To
the
wait,
party
to-
not going?
To where?
To my demi plane.
Oh. Well, no, Orphan wouldn't go to the demi.
I'll come with you, but only because I might have to invade the brain of this man.
Orphan hates the demi-plane.
And what do you ask him?
We want all the details we have on the fortress, the best ways to assault it, and the areas around it.
The areas he describes are similar geographically to when you went into raid Kethic's lair. The differences would be that this fortress is located on the Shadowfell rather than in the mountains of Romneus. And he describes some of the natural properties of the world around where the fortress is located, some of which you already know because you've spent a little bit of time on the Shadowfell yourself. But he also describes that because Ith's residence is inside of this mountain, and because Ith is an ancient dragon, at one point he was a blue dragon, he says there are very powerful thunderstorms that sweep the area constantly. Sometimes vast. On the prime material plane, they would be sandstorms blowing in from off the desert, but they manifest in the Shadowfell as choking ash. This is the outdoors area within a mile or two radius of the mountain. Going inside the mountain, he describes, much like you've seen before, access is granted through a lot of the various tunnels. The tunnels are guarded by... He says when he was there last, they were guarded by... a lot of the low-level mooks that Ith had taken on to act as his first line of defense. He described mostly Orogs, Orcs, and the like, some of which themselves had been twisted by the Shadowfell. Also, legions of undead, low-level undead, zombies, skeletons are the easiest to make, ghouls. Basically, anytime these Orcs or Orogs catch anybody in the borders, they slaughter them, drag their carcass back to the mountain, and Ith raises them as undead. This was standard operating procedure up until about a year ago when Gendred took over. Gendred maintained some of the armies, he made some changes, but at the level that Shershutsa was at, I don't even know this guy's name. I'm never going to get it right. But at the level of the cult he was at, a lot of that day-to-day stuff was beneath him. So the physical layout he describes is what you've already seen. It's just going to be darker and more Shadowfell-y. And he describes expect a lot of Orogs, Ogres, and low-level undead.
Zook wants to specifically know about traps, doors, magical seals, anything that they're going to have to pass through of that like. Or is it pretty much a straight shot guarded by the zombies?
He said the most locked doors, of which you would find one at the top of the ziggurat leading down into the cave where Ith makes his residence, which is where you will find Ith and Gendred and Melinda. And then perhaps the entrances to the tunnels, depending on foot traffic and depending on the level of security required at a given point. But the favorite trick was to put symbols of death on those doors. This was one of his jobs, actually, as one of the tongues of Ith, one of the high-level cultists who was trained in high-level magic and had access to those spells. So you can expect a lot of... Any locked door, he says, be very wary of, because just touching it may cause instant death.
Is there a password or anything like that? Or is it just you have to be able to resist that?
He says if there is a password, it will have been changed by now. But it could be dispelled like any other magic. He looks around the room at you all, and I assume you have this capability.
What level is Symbol of Death, Arik?
What level is what?
Symbol of Death.
Symbol of Death?
Isn't it a cleric spell?
We'll find out. Doesn't seem to be.
I'll look it up. It's labeled as symbol.
Symbol.
The question is how would any
7.
of your characters have this information?
That's why I'm asking.
If
Arik
he's a
he
cleric,
can
he
cast
would
it.
know.
Ah.
It's a level 7 spell. It's called Symbol.
So we should
and
make
one of the
some
things it can
level...
do.
Oh, sorry.
One of the things it can do is cast death.
We should maybe make some level 7 Dispel Magic scrolls then.
I was either thinking either Dispel Magic or Revivify and bring some diamonds.
What did they tend to use as the trigger for the spell? I'm asking the cultists.
Trying to open the door without being one of the chosen.
So Khalil could probably open it.
Ith is a lot of things, but he's not complicated when it comes to security of the mountain. Dealing with threats in the surest and swiftest manner was always his preference. If there was a corpse left at the end, any intruders that weren't automatically disintegrated by these sorts of magics, any intruders that left a corpse were raised and added to his army.
Just have Khalil open all the doors.
Yeah.
Is Khalil standing there, and did you say that out loud?
Yes,
Yes, I did say that out loud.
Then,
It's half asking if it will work.
then the cultist looks at Khalil, and he shakes his head and says, I don't understand why it would.
Yeah, nor do I.
Does
You're one of
Khalil
his
have,
shares
does
in
Khalil
my
have
Khalil?
any outward appearance that he is a warlock of Ith? Would
No,
this cultist
he
be able to
doesn't.
look at you and tell?
No, he doesn't.
Well,
Then yeah, this cultist responds, no, I don't see why it would.
Eldove looks at Arik. I'm expecting some kind of outburst.
it's a fair assumption.
When you say though that a member of the Cult of Ith can get through, like, how does the door know? Like, can we just drag a corpse with us or a hand? What do we need?
Yes, no.
Do we need a
He's
cultist? by
kind
any
of
chance?
tight-lipped answering that question. And his answer is, again, looking at the assembled company, I assumed you would have the capability to bypass these magics.
We just want to have every option available to us. Don't worry, I'm not suggesting we take you with us. We need you
Yeah.
alive.
And what else do you ask him?
I'm sorry, it's just out of character. That was a hilarious question to ask.
It was.
The guy already thinks we're gonna kill him. And you're like, what if we took your dead body? What if that would work?
Yeah, yeah.
And throw
we
it
have the
around
dead
a
body
few
of the
times.
cultist. Yeah.
McClain and Zook alike were not thinking that far ahead. I was thinking about. I've been playing too much Metal Gear, so I was thinking about throat
Yes.
grabbing someone and
That's
dragging
what
him
I'm
up
thinking,
to it.
yeah.
Hold
Well,
their
see,
eye
there-
up to the
there-
eye scanner.
Well, there is the bit in Metal Gear Rising where you have to chop the dude's arm off to get the code to unlock the door.
I mean,
what-
we've
what
already
else-
cut somebody's hand off for evidence once in this campaign, so.
What else do you ask the cultist? What other information are you looking for?
Where. We may already know this, so. But where is the best place? How far out do we need to set up camp before making our way in? If we're trying to get there, like what's the safe perimeter of distance? Do you know?
He says to be absolutely safe outside of the storms.
That's fair.
Okay. And then how far of a
So
journey
they-
by foot is it from there with the
Said
storms?
miles and miles, right?
No, only about
It's not like a few miles.
yeah, only 2 miles at the most. Which was
That's-
about the
that's-
distance you guys had parked the hut previously.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the overland journey won't be any more difficult than before.
My thought is
All
we
right.
could Tarin can plane shift everyone there. We can set up a demi plane to rest in, and then we can go overland for the rest of the way.
Ooh, do either sorcerers or wizards have plane shift?
I have plane shift.
Okay, so we do have a backup plane shift if Terran goes down.
You might want to make a scroll of plane shift and attune it to the material. Yeah, I've been telling your character for 5 sessions to get a scroll of plane shift attuned to the material plane if you're gonna hang out with me.
Is this conversation happening in front of the cultists?
No,
No? Okay.
No, I think we left him.
You left him?
I think.
Okay.
Do you guys need anything else from him? I'm pretty okay.
I had nothing else from him.
Yeah, I can't think of anything.
Okay. So I need to know.
I just
what-
have a question
Okay.
about teleport, because the hut prevents teleportation being useful within the hut. Is there any sort of protection from teleporting out from within Ith's domain?
Are you asking
So
the cultist?
Yeah.
I'm asking the cultist.
He says it's difficult because it's warded against teleportation for security reasons. He was able to teleport out, but he had been subject to a variety of rituals. At one point, he had been infused with Ith's blood as part of these rituals. Whether or not you'll be able to teleport out, he couldn't say. He was able to as a last-ditch effort to get himself out and get himself here to Sanctuary.
Okay.
He says one of the reasons he wanted to use a scroll versus just casting the teleport spell is because something in the air wasn't one of Ith's abilities. It wasn't something Ith was able to do, but something that Gendred had a knack for was sensing when magic was being used. And so he felt it was safer to use a scroll to leave, thinking that perhaps he could get out without Gendred noticing.
Okay.
But he doesn't know if it worked. So he can speak for him being able to teleport out, but he doesn't know about the rest of you. So what other preparations are underway?
Well, sounds like I have more scrolls I need to scribe.
Yeah, I need to know just at some point what all scrolls you guys are making Zook lug around.
I'm going to give you at least a couple of the foresights, because the thing is our limit on foresights is still people able to cast foresight.
So 2 levels of foresight? 2 scrolls of foresight, rather?
I thought we made enough scrolls just we'd get all foresight before the day we rolled in.
But we're still the people casting foresight, so foresight will still go away when we cast foresight again.
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
Yeah, only.
So that's why,
by
like,
my count, you can have 4 of them up.
Yeah, so
Okay.
making
Yeah, that makes sense.
Zook able to cast 1, that's a big benefit. That's another foresight.
Zook can use it, Tarin can use it, and Eldove can twin it.
So you're giving me 2 scrolls of foresight.
Yeah, I'm giving you 2 scrolls of foresight, and I'm thinking I'll give Tarin a scroll of foresight as well, even though he's not going to cast it, just
in case it gets dispelled.
Safety reasons, yeah.
Okay. What about reconnaissance of the area? Do you guys just roll up and assault the place, or are we going to camp out and look for a little bit?
I've got my prying eyes.
Okay. What do you mean prying eyes?
Do that as much. One of my warlock abilities, I have an invocation that creates scrying sensors that I can just kind of mentally control. Arcane Eye at will, it's visions of distant realms. I worked it out last time we were doing this, and I can scout up to 8 miles away, basically, if I spend the whole time concentrating on it. So I have 8 miles I can basically drive the eye through.
Yeah, I looked this up last time you did it. Let me refresh my memory real quick. It's only visual information, correct?
Yep.
And the eye is invisible, but not intangible.
Right.
Okay.
So my suggestion would be Tarin plane shifts everyone to the Shadowfell outside of these storms. We set up a demo plane to rest from the gate of that demi plane. We send out prying eyes the morning before, after we do our rest, and then we do some prying eyes, and then we roll up to kill a necromancer.
So plane shifting over there, whereas when you came to this area on the prime material, it was you came out of a thick wood to a mountainous area that was very sparsely wooded, where it had all these orc towers, these watchtowers, on hills that got denser as you got towards the mountain. On the Shadowfell, however, it's a sandblasted wasteland. There is no plant life whatsoever. And sure enough, you can see the mountain very faintly off in the distance, and there is a terrible thunderstorm. Visibility within that storm, the choking ash that the cultist described, is very thick indeed.
Hold on,
Brick,
is this just
brick.
Tarin going off on his own, or is
Yeah,
this...
that's what I wanted to ask, because
Well,
there
I
was
thought,
some more...
yeah, I mean that was what we were going to do when we were ready. I don't know if you guys have any other preparations to make.
Yeah,
We were
I
making
wanted to
scroll-
prepare
we were making
some more scrolls.
Well, go ahead and
Yeah.
make the scrolls. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to make...
I
Alright.
I just want to take a minute to in character and out of character tell Zook how teleport works.
Are you
Okay.
giving me a scroll of teleport?
Yeah, I'm going to give you. Can Warlocks cast teleport?
That's
that on
why I have to do my plane shift Ghetto teleport.
Okay, so yeah, I'll give you a scroll of teleport. The way this works is, as in the spell, for range and stuff like that. But the thing you have to remember is you need something from where you're teleporting to, and it needs to be on the same plane. So when we leave the hut, you're going to want to grab something from there, from the Shadowfell, or just outside of the hut, so that you can return to the hut.
Okay.
And you're also going to want to, and this is where I bring you down over to the tower, you're going to want to memorize these symbols so that if you're on this plane, you can come back here.
Okay, so Zook spends some time memorizing the circle teleportation, basically?
No, it's the teleport spell. You're just remembering the teleport circle symbols so that you can teleport to them.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
spending some time memorizing the teleport circle.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm doing that, and then as soon as we get to the hut in the Shadowfell, I'm going to grab some I don't know, a rock or something. 'Cause it sounds like they're in
anything.
shit there.
It doesn't matter what it is. It just matters that it's fresh from you took it from that location within the last 6 months.
And Arik is making 3 scrolls of level 7 Dispel Magic,
Okay.
which is a considerable amount of money. And as a backup, he gets. I assume Tarin has like a pile of like tuning forks.
Yeah.
He just takes one of them, attunes to it and makes a scroll of plane shift.
Are you
Well,
giving
the
me
way it
this-
works is this: because it's a material component, the component will get consumed, and then the scroll could only be used to plane shift back to the material.
Yeah.
Wait, why did you have me make scrolls of Blink? Blink seems to suck.
I use it all the time to pull people out of terrible grapples.
I'm just saying, Dimension Door seems like way better.
Oh, that's what I meant. Dimension Door, not Blink. Sorry.
Well,
The scrolls of Blink are already made. They're already there.
Okay, that was my fault. I just used them wrong.
Never
name because
trust
they're very
Terra.
similar.
Eric, were you giving me any of those scrolls of Dispel Magic, or are you hanging on to those?
Yeah, you should take 2 of them because
2 scrolls of level 7 Dispel Magic.
I'll have one as a backup, but since you're the one that's doing stuff with locks and everything, you need to make sure that you don't touch a lock and you don't die.
And Symbol is something that shows up on just Detect Magic, right? Any of you guys can see it? Okay.
So I can look at it.
Okay, so I got, just going down the list, Candle of Darkness, Scroll of Dispel Magic, Scroll of Flying, Scrolls of Foresight, Scroll of Illusionary Script, Scrolls of Knock, Scroll of Protection from Cold, Sending, Teleport, and True Seeing. Is there anything else I need?
you're going to take 2 scrolls of Blink, and I'm going to add some more money to my character sheet because I spent on a higher scroll level than Blink actually is.
Okay. I have to look up what Blink does. But
So you guys make the extra scrolls.
It does garbage.
And
it's garbage? Okay, good.
plane shift over to the Shadowfell, and that's the scene that you see when you arrive. Did you plane shift there all by yourselves, or did you dance there using the hut?
Oh wait, well did we want to? What was it? Is Omtake supposed to come with us? Because
He's not.
He's
Because the idea is that when Gendrid pushes the button, all of the Ribs of Ith will materialize at his location as a last-ditch effort to fight to preserve Ith's life.
so he'll be there, but not because we need to bring him there.
Yeah, the idea was all of the Ribs, all of the questing you've been doing was to neutralize as many of those Ribs as possible.
Yeah, and it looks like we've done that except for Melinda.
I've got her true name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't know how to use that, actually.
I
Tarin-
think I just say it.
Locke
okay.
Locke explained to him how to use it. Essentially, he doesn't know the true name of let me refresh my memory here. It's under her heading.
I want to ask Tarin a question in character.
Okay, because Melinda was not a warlock of Ith. She is a warlock with a Tanari patron, and Locke clashed with that Tanari in the past, and he knows the true name of the Tanari. So the idea is that Destil can neutralize Melinda's magic use or severely inhibit it by speaking the true name of her patron, and that will mess up everything.
I got you. Okay. So, yeah, sounds like we're good on the
Kethik is dead. You have
Orphan is useless.
You've hired on Amte to your side. He has apparently, or he tells you that he's going to be able to neutralize Muriel. He'll convince her not to fight. He's going to neutralize Axe of Fire by using his enchantment, and
Ashitir is ostensibly on our side.
that's what he said. And
This
Kethik
is all
dead.
assuming we didn't just give the guy a super powerful axe to hit us with.
The axe you
Yeah,
handed
it was just a
him
normal
was
axe.
just a
It was
cold
magical.
iron, non-magical axe. The only thing special about it is it wasn't forged. It was just banged into an axe shape and sharpened out of just a chunk of cold iron.
So in character, Zook's gonna ask Tarin. You know, he just got handed these scrolls of Blink, which he was explaining to him will take him to the ethereal plane. Is that the terrible place I don't actually want to go?
Yes.
So
Yes.
don't use these.
Right.
Okay, fantastic.
You could probably survive for 1 turn there.
Well, that's all I would use it for, but
Right.
this will be like a last-ditch effort if I have to
Right.
use these.
Can you send creatures there? with them?
No, it's not awesome.
Blink is 100% worthless in this campaign.
In this campaign, yes.
So again, did you guys plane shift out there to that position on the Shadowfell, or did you dance there using the hut?
We used the dance to get to the hut. I'm thinking we were told 2 miles away was safe, so let's go like 3.
And when you arrive, it's very easy to see where the end of its domain, the borders of it, because this thunderstorm rages around his mountain, the clouds of choking ash, and then outside of that, it's not pleasant because it's the Shadowfell, but it's not raging horrible dragonness.
It's not Scary Town.
I'm sorry, but I just imagine the hut. Eldove's making the hut like conga its way there.
Right, so we Macarena into the Shadowfell.
Dance the hut there.
So what do you do with your Arcane Eye when you're 1 hour, Tarin?
I'm just going to send it through. First, I'll send one through the storms and just sort of scurry around across, kind of circle the perimeter once and see if I can find anything of interest. Any landmarks, any entrances to caves.
Very little of interest. What you find mostly are watchtowers similar to the ones that had surrounded Kethek's mountain. But these watchtowers, rather than being hastily built wooden structures, are lashed together with bone. It looks at some point that its minions would be able to man these watchtowers to watch the surrounding lands, and you sweep around and find dozens of these around the perimeter, but now they all stand empty. There's no signs of life.
Because he knows we're coming.
After that, I'll send one just to the fortress, and I'll circle the exterior of the fortress and look for entrances.
Okay. And you find similar entrances as before. The mountain the base of the mountain where you had that skirmish a couple of weeks ago. The tunnels that go inside. Most of the tunnels, though, whereas on the Prime Material there were many openings and they kind of snaked inside, most of them have been blocked off. It looks like somebody has gone in and used landslides to block the entrances to all the tunnels.
How many are actually open then?
None.
Oh. So would it be climbing the wall on the exterior, or what's the actual... Do I see any obvious means of entrance at that point?
You do not.
I mean, is it, what's the building made out of? Is it an obvious, like...
Well, you had gone around the perimeter of the mountain.
Okay. Yeah, I'll send an eye up to the top then.
And going up, you see the ziggurat.
Yep.
As before. Except whereas Kethek's was fallen to disuse and ruin, Ith's looks like it's in relatively good repair. It looks like it's something that has been kept in constant use. It looks like something that's been personalized for Ith at this point. You see statues of dragons. You see a lot of iconography depicting storms, lightning bolts, things of this nature, as befitting his station as a blue dragon. But again, you see no moving signs of life. You do see the doors going in, the ones that the Dracolich was guarding on the Prime Material. Again, looks like no guards, no nothing.
But we roll up, dispel the whatever god-awful things on the door, and work our way down. Any better plan than that?
Do we want to walk up the mountain, or are we going to do that silly thing where we teleport in the middle of it?
I wouldn't bother teleporting. Let's just walk up the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, climbing up the mountain to get to the ziggurat would be difficult, but not impossible. It would be, you'd be exhausted by the time you got to the top, but it would be doable.
When you say that, do you mean take a level of exhaustion, or just in character, we'd be tired?
No, you'd just be tired in character.
Okay. I want to ask.
That seems like something
that's a fair
to clarify.
Yeah, that's a fair question.
That seems like...
I guess we start hiking.
Yeah. As we hike, Arik is clutching to his amulet, praying to Osprey. Then eventually gets bored of praying to Osprey and starts humming a sea shanty under his breath.
And that's why you're not
You mean a
trained in
prayer to
religion.
Osprey?
Oh yeah.
I was assuming that you were going to start beatboxing.
Yeah, Zook has his hoodie, his thief's cloak pulled up over his head to protect himself from the sand, but otherwise is just shuffling along.
Not sand, it's ash.
Or ash, rather. That's right.
Zook,
ash.
you look about as colorful as this place.
And it is very abrasive, and in the windiest parts, when it starts getting into your mouth and throat, it does cause coughing fits unless precautions are taken.
I mean, I would have my cloak pulled up, kind of over my mouth, like protect. So I'm just have a pair of little gnomish eyes poking out as much as possible.
How deep is the ash on the ground? Is Zook like waist deep in it? Like,
no, it's traversable. Did you bring Fred or Daniel with you?
Daniel, yes. What do you guys think about Fred?
Fred is always welcome.
Can Fred cast Foresight?
He can.
I feel like he would want to. Like, this is...
But it just seems like he'd be almost a liability at this point. Like,
he would, but... I don't know. I feel like we should take him.
Okay.
I feel like we should take Fred more than we should take Daniel.
Okay.
Oh, no,
Daniel is the most common member of this party.
Daniel's definitely coming along. I mean, this is what we kept Daniel around for.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought you liked Daniel.
I do, but he's fragile.
Just remember, if he falls down, you don't have to bring him back every time. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can leave him for after the fight.
Bahamut can take care of that.
Now, looking at
But,
y'all's
I
character
mean,
sheets, it looks like Eldove did not take any kind of rest, because he's still at 57 hit points.
Oh, yeah, I
we
tend
are-
to worry about that the first time I take damage. I'll do that now.
Well, let's worry about it now, otherwise I'm going to look at your sheet and declare you to be dead when you're not.
Well, don't forget, too, that Gendra's going to want to kill him. And, well, actually, the rest of you. Alright.
Well, he's going to want to kill all of you.
Alright.
At this point,
that's
Arik,
cool.
it's probably less safe to be anywhere else in the world than assaulting this fortress. We should almost bring Cube for his own protection. We shouldn't bring Cube.
No, let's not.
No, we're not bringing Q.
Not
No.
Cube.
That's where
Unless-
I cut the line.
Not unless Cube's been adventuring on the side and
Well,
is level
I
16
actually had a
somehow.
brilliant idea. What we should do is we should let Cube attune to the hut and have him pilot the hut through the fight.
Cube is
on
not
people.
attuning the hut.
So you all make it to the base of the mountain after a very arduous overland journey, and you meet no resistance. The orc kind that the cultists described to you, the mercenaries that if used, the legions of undead, not in evidence. And now you are standing at the base of the mountain in front of one of these collapsed tunnels.
Well, that's
Stay
encouraging.
climbing.
So everybody's climbing up just on the force of their own strength.
If it looks sketchy, Zook will chug this potion of climbing, but I imagine he's probably not going to have too much trouble with it.
We're inside a tunnel right now?
No, you're
No, the
outside.
tunnels are all collapsed.
The entrances to the tunnels look like they've been collapsed.
Yeah, if it's ever, like, super raw, I'll fly out and drop down a rope for people.
You could fly, but it might be difficult because of the storms.
Yeah, I'm imagining it'll be tough as hell, but it'll be better than climbing at some points. So I'll just do that, and then I'll drop a rope so everyone else can have a easier time.
You don't need to fly. Like, Orphan can climb stuff.
Oh yeah, Orphan can just run
walks
it.
up the mountain.
Without any difficulty.
So between the lot of you, you managed to get up to the side of the ziggurat, which I should have had loaded by now, but I didn't.
I should have remembered that Orphan could just run up walls.
She could probably be standing at the top of this mountain waiting for us by the time we get.
Oh,
It's my
yeah,
number
started.
one favorite thing about
No,
Orphan.
she could have brought multiple characters. She could have made multiple trips up and down by the time we're at the top.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Zook
probably
blinks
carrying
and-
Eldove.
Orphan could have gotten to the top and leveled a second character to the level 3 or 4 by the time you guys were up there.
Improper image URL.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
fixing it. Hold
Hey,
on.
Rick, what do you think about Imigar?
But probably the fastest way of getting up this mountain is to have Orphan make multiple trips carrying us.
She's not that strong, unfortunately. Like, she'd never get Daniel up there.
We go into the chest here.
Daniel can fucking walk.
Where the hell did Zook go?
So what face are you approaching? This face up here, the north face, is too sheer to climb. but the other 3 faces are fair game. This face here would lead down in the tunnels into the mountain. Over to the east. Last time you came up here, you entered a tunnel in the south face, squirreled your way up, and came out at the exit from the east into the ziggurat.
North is which way? Could you tab it?
North is the top up here.
East always seems like the most reasonable path to me.